beautiful people. It is yo, Dr. J on the line. Hello today. I am reminding you of book club. Be Your Future Self Now by Dr. Benjamin Hardy. I'm going to read because I haven't been on here in a minute. Even if you don't get the book during book club, I will be reading as well, but I would rather you have the book or at least download the audio. So, we're still in the intro. Being driven by fear is a lower state of consciousness than being driven by courage and vision. Deep emotional development is required to transition beyond fear as your driver to level of acceptance, courage, and love as reasons for action. In addition to fear, being a core emotional driver of human action, some psychologists believe human beings were not evolved to effectively think years or decades into the future. Our hunter-gatherer ancestors, I don't know about y'all's, but my ancestors were kings and queens. Yours might have been hunter-gatherers. Mine was kings and queens. Our hunter-gatherer ancestors weren't planning for retirement, that's true, by age 65. Instead, they were strategizing for their next meal or trying to avoid being eaten. As further proof that people struggle to think ahead, consider that the median age as Americans start planning for retirement is 27. And with almost 4 decades to accomplish their goal, the median retirement savings totals 107,000 median. As great as this number sounds to a 27-year-old, that's only $310 of monthly income after retirement. Oops. Speaking of age 65, another reason people likely struggle contemplating and strategizing for a long-term future is that the average human life expectancy has nearly doubled over the past 150 years. In 1860, the average life expectancy in America was 39 years old. So I done passed the life expectancy. Woo-hoo! You pray to pass the life expectancy. We thankful and grateful today for that right there. 80 years is a long time to look ahead and plan for, or is it? We have a lot of things working against us when it comes to living effectively, shifting our goals from fear-based, reactive, and short-term to proactive, long-term, and love-based is the path to a successful and happy life. Your view of your future self is the compass that drives you forward. Your view of your future self. See that picture? That's the compass that drives me forward, okay? This takes us to the growing body of research on the subject of prospection, identity, and future self. Be your future self now. Increasing numbers of psychologists are focusing their research on the importance of a person's view of their own future self. TED Talks by prominent psychologists are aimed at the critical importance of one's connection to and creation of their own future self. Consider the themes of the following TED Talks given in recent years. The psychology of your future self. The battle between your present and future self. Essential questions to ask your future self. A journey to your future self. Guidance from your future self. Saying hello to your future self. How can we help our future selves? Thinking forward for your future self. How to make our present self become our future self. Challenging your future self. How to step into your future self. As the science on prospection and future self continues to grow and become increasingly compelling, future self coaching and meditation programs are in development. Yet, there's never been a definitive book written on the topic until now. Research among psychologists is on the cutting edge, and the science is still too young. The science of future self will increase during the next 2 decades. This book is here to catch you up on the latest science to this point. In this highly practical book, you'll learn the science of your future self, how to connect with and create your desired future self, how to expand your future self far, far beyond what you even currently imagine, just as Mr. Beast instinctively did. So you got to listen to the recording from the very first video to find out who Mr. Beast was. The quality of connection you have with your own future self determines the quality of your life and behaviors now. Research shows that the most connected you are to your own future self, the wiser decisions you make here and now. Contemplating your future self, you're more likely to invest in and set yourself up for an abundant retirement, exercise, and eat healthier, and you're less likely to engage in delinquent or self-defeating acts. The future self concept is simple yet rarely practiced. To make quality decisions, know where those decisions will take you. Decisions and actions are best when reverse engineered from a desired outcome. Start with what you want and work backwards. Think and act from your goal rather than toward your goal. Let me read that again. Start with what you want and work backwards. That's like begin with the end in mind. Think and act from that goal rather than to that goal. Your brain does this automatically. Indeed, neuroscientists now agree the brain is essentially a prediction machine guiding behavior toward the expected future. Learning is the process of updating and improving our brain's predictions. Did you know that learning is the process of updating and improving our brain's predictions? Like the cell phone. You know, at night your cell phone doesn't upgrade. It's this upgrade. Let me upgrade you. So we upgrading right here. The clearer you are on where you want to go, the less distracted you'll be by endless options. The clearer you are on where you want to go, the less distracted you'll be by endless options. When you're disconnected with your future self, you get caught up in urgent goals that often result in low quality behavior in the present. For the majority, that is the norm. Many people are primarily driven by short-term goals, which are disconnected from the long-term repercussions of those decisions. This reality is depicted in a 2010 episode of The Simpsons' Money Bart, when Homer, an irresponsible father, is confronted with his responsibilities and shrinks them, or tries to shrink them, with alcohol. His wife Marge tries to get Homer back on track. Some days these kids will be out of the house and you'll regret not spending more time with them. Oh, that's a problem for a future Homer. He shakes his head. Man, I don't envy that guy. Homer pours vodka into a jar, drinks the contents, and collapses of an apparent heart attack. We might laugh at Homer because we know deep down that we are the same. We may not be choosing jars and vodka over our children, but we knowingly leave problems for our future selves all the time. In the 1990s, on The Late Show with David Letterman, the comedian Jerry Seinfeld discussed this common human plight. I saw an ad. I love this concept of no payments into June. People are like, oh, June will never be here. It'll never be June. They buy things and say to themselves, the girl in June, he'll have money somehow. And I do that with myself. Like late at night, I think, well, it's night. I'm having a good time. I don't want to go to sleep. I'm night guy. Getting up after 5 hours sleep, that's morning guy problem. Let morning guy worry about that, not night guy. Night guy has to party. Then you get up after only 5 hours of sleep. You're cranky. You're exhausted. Night guy always messes up morning guy. There's nothing morning guy could do to get back at night guy. The only thing morning guy could do is try to oversleep so many times that day guy loses his job, and then night guy doesn't have any more money to go out. Letterman laughed and replied, you have done an excellent job of crystallizing the dichotomy of modern American life. Because we're disconnected from our future selves, we opt for near immediate goals or dopamine hits. This short-term seeking ends up costing our future selves big. As Harvard psychologist and future self-researcher Dr. Daniel Gilbert asks, why do we make decisions our future selves will regret? This brings up a counterintuitive but important truth. The more connected you are to your future self, the better you live the present. It is not the past, but the future that drives a person's actions and behaviors. All goals can be placed in two categories: approach or avoidance. Connected to your future self, you can appreciate, embrace, and love the present. Connection to your future self creates purpose and meaning. The more connected you are to your longer term future self, the better and wiser your decisions are today. So, being connected to your future self makes you happy, productive, and successful. That's the crazy part. Connection to your future self elevates your present self and circumstance. You truly prize the invaluable gold mine that is your life right now. Your connection to your future self is how you live powerfully now. So be your future self. Being connected to your future self is the secret to being truly present. Exhaustion hung over me like a cloud as I drove home from work. On any normal day, I'd come home and relax after a long day's work. But this particular day, I've been writing this book and thinking about the research on future self. How could I use what I learned to be a better husband? How could I connect with my future self to be a better father to my 6 energetic kids who would be hungry for dad's attention when I arrive? Truthfully, I'd become aware that more often than I'd like to admit, I wasn't as engaged with my family as I wanted to be. Once I reached my neighborhood, I pulled to the side of the road to truly contemplate who I wanted to be when I arrived home. I considered my own future self. 20 years from now, I'll be 53 years old. All 6 of my children will be adults and no longer living at home. Sitting in my parked car a few roads from my house, I asked myself, how would my future self feel? And what would they do if the 50-year-old me could come back and live my life for the rest of today? A quote from an Australian psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor came to mind. Live as if you were living already for the second time, and as if you had acted the first time as wrongly as you are about to act now. It seems to me there is nothing which would stimulate a man's sense of responsibleness more than this maximum, which invites him to imagine first that the present is past, and second, that the past may yet to be changed and amended. I decided to give this Australian psychiatrist's idea a try. I decided to live the rest of the day as if I were my future self 20 years into the future, and my future self had the opportunity to time travel back and relive the rest of today. When I pulled into my driveway, my 3-year-old was outside waiting. Daddy, Daddy, she jumped around, excited to see me, watching my beautiful and witty daughter. I knew my future self 20 years from now would give anything to experience this single moment while my daughter is still 3. As my future self, I saw this moment very differently than I normally do. I was brought to tears by how much I loved her. I recognized her as a perfect gift sent from God. I jumped out the car and hugged her like I hadn't seen her in 20 years. Do you want me to chase you? Yes. She took off giggling, laughing. I chased her down the block, scooping her into my arms. I hugged her close. How is this my life? How am I so lucky? Taking in this setting, I saw my neighborhood and street differently. I felt reverence for what I experienced. I grasped that I stood on holy ground. After playing blissfully with my 3-year-old for about 5 minutes, I snapped a selfie to always remember the time my future self came back and played with his little girl. So my daughter and I went inside where my older kids argued with each other as energetic and normal kids do in the kitchen. My wife busily made dinner while helping the baby. On a regular day, I might immediately chide or correct my older kids. I might zone out. But on this day, with my future self in mind, my family felt far more important than I normally see them. Rather than being frustrated about the clutter, I loved the toys scattered around the house. I loved the homeschool books and assignments thrown across the kitchen table. I loved seeing my kids playing with each other. My wife, her beauty took my breath. How the heck did I get this amazing life? Rather than feeling annoyed, I felt astonished by how much I love the banter of my 10 to 14-year-old kids. To my future self, these 3 are in their 30s. What would my future self say if they could come back and just have 5 minutes? Rather than speaking, I'm confident my future self would want nothing more than to listen to, learn from, and affirm these incredible kids. I pulled my proverbial cotton balls out of my ears, put them in my mouth. I listened. I engaged. I laughed. I loved. I connected. I don't know about the cotton balls out the ears into the mouth. I think that might have been a metaphor, but the shift is what's important. Within, I felt elevated, evolved, and profound. Things that normally frustrated me seemed completely trivial, totally in flow. I love the things that often annoyed me. Not only did I feel present and engaged, but I acted with greater kindness, perspective, and wisdom. My future self would handle this situation differently and better than the current me. Tapping into my future self and living as my future self changed everything. Even deeper, I realized and fully appreciated that my future self might not be here in 20 years. I could be gone. Recently, a friend's 2-year-old died in a freak and horrible tragic accident because he accidentally got the cord to the window blinds wrapped around his neck. It was an ancient memento mori is an ancient Stoic term for keeping death always on your mind to fully value and appreciate this moment. I'm not sure if I pronounced that right. But sadly, I often miss the incredible moments all around me. Without a sense of purpose and mission, I fail to appreciate what's right in front of me. I fail to value the infinite worth of my current life simply because I'm disconnected. That Australian psychologist Viktor Frankl suggests we imagine this moment has passed, forced to deal with the negative consequences of not being more conscious of what we were doing. This is why the research on future self is so compelling. Being connected always allows you to better comprehend and appreciate the gold mine of this moment right here. Seeing your current life through the eyes of your future self, you see opportunities you were previously blind to. If you stay connected with your future self, you'll value your present. What about you? If your future self 20 years from now had a conversation with you, what would they say? How would your future self view your current situation? How differently would you act with your future self in mind? So, in the pages that follow, you're going to learn how to be your future self now. As your future self now, you can create the life you want. Mr. Beats' enormous success came as the result of his commitment towards his desired future self. His courage led to consistent, deliberate practice, which is the systematic way to develop expertise in anything. To do deliberate practice requires being deliberate towards a specific goal, like Mr. Beast had a clear view of your future self. Author and philosopher Dr. Stephen R. Covey, I had mentioned him earlier, said mental creation always precedes physical creation. Anyone who has created something substantial did so by seeing it in their mind first, then working towards that image. As they took steps forward, their vision clarified, expanded, and evolved. Even the Bible describes faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Whoever you're being right now is the evidence of your future self. Your level of faith in and commitment towards your future self is evidenced by everything you do and every thought you think. Once you are clear and committed, everything will filter through your goal, what psychologists call selective attention. You see what you're looking for. You see what you care about. What you focus on expands. The father of American psychologist William James put it this way: millions of items on the outward order are present to my senses, which never promptly enter into my experience. Why? Because they have no interest for me. My experience is what I agree to attend to. That was profound and deep. Let me say it again. The father of American psychology, William James, put it this way: millions of items of the outward order are present to my senses, which never properly enter into my experience. Why? Because they have no interest for me. My experience is what I agree to attend to. So not only do you see what you're looking for, but you act towards what you must want and have decided will be yours. Faith is a principle of action and power. By faith, you can move mountains, but a man on the moon make millions and heal impossible maladies by faith. To exercise this level of faith, Fashion a vision of what you want. In the words of American author Florence Shine, know you've already received and act according. Know that whatever you want is already yours. Act as though everything you want can and will be yours. You've heard some of this before, but we're going to dive deeper into the science behind that so you can tap in and actually make it yours. The truth is, we all are already doing this right now. The challenge is to hone the future we envision for ourselves. We're being driven by our views of the future, but why that particular future? The one you're currently committed to. What if you choose something else? What if you committed to what you truly want? When you commit 100% to what you want and know the end result is already yours, there will be a growing body of evidence about the future you're creating. There will be a growing body of evidence about the future you are creating. You'll stop associating pain with the work and changes required for your goals. Instead, you'll associate pain with not making progress towards your dreams. You'll associate pain with the short-term dopamine hits that were once your escape. You'll be far more courageous. You'll develop mentorships and collaborations with like-minded people. Your mindset, beliefs, and mental models will change, and you'll see the world far differently than your former self. Your results will improve. And that's what we want. We want your results to improve. So I'm going to stop right there. Because I want you to get the book. And then we're going to get started tomorrow, November 1st, on part 1. And we're going to start going into the 7 threats to your future self, starting with threat number 1, which is without hope in your future, your present loses meaning. So we got to have hope for the future. I am Dr. J. Get your book, Be Your Future Self now. Make sure you subscribe, like my channel, so that when I post again, you will be notified. Thank you so much. You have an amazing rest of your day.